The Indian people have a long and influential presence across Africa, shaped by centuries of trade migrations and labor movements. Currently, several African countries host significant Indian populations, ranging from well-established communities with deep historical roots to more recent professional and entrepreneurial migrants. The Indian community in Africa has had a significant impact on local economies, contributing to trade, industry, finance, healthcare, and technology. In today's video, therefore, we are going to cover the top 10 African countries with the largest Indian populations. Number 10. Seychelles, 13,000 Indians. The Indian community in Seychelles is small, but it is one of the country's oldest and most influential minority groups, with the roots tracing back to the early 19th century when Indian traders and laborers first arrived on the islands. Though small in number, they play a huge role in the country's economy, contributing significantly to sectors such as commerce, retail, construction, hospitality, and professional services. Many of them have integrated deeply into the social fabric of the nation, while still preserving elements of their cultural heritage, including festivals like Diwali and traditional cuisines. Number 9. Ghana, 15,000 Indians. The presence of Indian communities in Ghana dates back to the 20th century when Indian traders, mainly from Gujarat and Punjab, arrived to engage in commerce along the West African coast. Over time, the community has grown in population through births and business migration, with many families establishing successful businesses in sectors such as manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, retail, textile, hospitality, and technology. The Indian community in Ghana is socially active, maintaining their cultural traditions, temples, and celebrations like Diwali and Holi, while integrating fully in Ghana's multicultural environment. Number 8. Zambia, 25,000 Indians. The Zambian Indian community is one of the country's most established and economically influential minority groups, with roots tracing back to the 20th century when Indian traders and laborers arrived during the British colonial rule. Over time, the community has grown to become deeply involved in the country's economy, with many Indians owning businesses in the capital Lusaka and other big cities in Zambia. Indians in Zambia dominate sectors like retail, manufacturing, mining services, medicine, hospitality, and agriculture. Number 7. Botswana, 30,000 Indians. Many Indians arrived in Botswana from 1970s as laborers and traders, and upon their arrival, they quickly integrated with the local people. Over time, their population has grown, with many Indians establishing themselves in business, dominating sectors like commerce, manufacturing, hospitality, and pharmaceuticals. Many Indians in Botswana work as doctors, engineers, teachers, accountants, and ICT engineers, helping fill essential skill gaps in the country. The community's cultural associations and business chambers have reinforced Botswana-India relations, making the Indian diaspora an important part of the country's social and economic fabric. Number 6. Uganda, 40,000 Indians. The Ugandan Indian community is one of the country's most historically significant and economically influential minority groups, with the roots tracing back to the late 19th century when Indians arrived in Uganda as railway workers for the British colonial rule. Despite a major setback in 1972 when Idi Amin Dada expelled and chased away Indians from Uganda, the community gradually rebuilt itself after the 1990s when Uganda reopened its doors and encouraged Indians to come back to the country. Today, Indians in Uganda play a significant role in the country's economy, dominating sectors like manufacturing, banking, real estate, retail, and pharmaceuticals, with the majority of the big companies in Uganda being owned by the Indian people. Number 5. Nigeria, 55,000 Indians. The presence of Indians in Nigeria dates back to the mid-19th century when Indians started arriving in the country, primarily from Gujarat, Punjab, and other parts of India. As time went by, Indians established their roots in the highly competitive economy of Nigeria, becoming prominent in sectors such as trade, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, information technology, hospitality, and education, contributing significantly to the country's private sector growth. Number 4. Tanzania, 100,000 Indians. Being one of the oldest and most established Indian diasporas in East Africa, the Indian community in Tanzania has played a significant role in the country's economic and social development over the centuries. Most of the successful big businesses in Tanzania are owned by Indians, with most of the top richest people in Tanzania being of Indian descent. Indians first arrived in Tanzania in the late 19th century when Indian traders and laborers arrived during the British colonial rule and the construction of the Central Railway. The Indian community in Tanzania has played a key part in the country's economic development through developing businesses and creating job opportunities. Number 3. Kenya, 120,000 Indians. Indians in Kenya trace their origin back to the 19th century when Indians arrived as laborers to work on the construction of the Kenya-Uganda Railway during the British colonial rule. Over time, they expanded into commerce, industry, professional services, and politics, becoming a key driver in Kenya's economic development. Today, Indians in Kenya dominate many sectors of the Kenyan economy, including healthcare, manufacturing, banking, real estate, and retail. A bigger portion of the richest people in Kenya are of Indian descent, most of whom have acquired their enormous wealth through businesses. The Indian community lives in affluent neighborhoods in major cities in Kenya, maintaining their strong cultural identity through temples and celebrations such as Diwali and Holi. Number 2. Mauritius, 900,000 Indians. The Indian community in Mauritius is the largest and the most influential ethnic group, making up about 2/3 of the total population. The presence of Indians in Mauritius dates back to the 19th century when Indian laborers were brought by the British to work on sugar plantations after the abolition of slavery. Over time, the Indian population in Mauritius grew large, becoming economically and politically dominant, contributing significantly to sectors such as agriculture, commerce, finance, education, and government. The integration into the Mauritian society created a unique multicultural identity where Indian traditions coexist with Creole, African, Chinese, and European influences. Number 1. South Africa, 1.7 million Indians. And finally, topping the list of the top 10 African countries with the highest Indian populations is South Africa, hosting about 1.7 million Indians. The first arrival of Indians in South Africa dates back to the 19th century when Indian laborers were brought to work on sugar plantations in Natal, followed by later waves of traders and professionals. Today, many Indians are concentrated primarily in KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, and major urban centers, playing a crucial role in the country's economy as they are highly active in business, finance, medicine, education, and information technology. Beyond the economy, the Indian community in South Africa has played a prominent role in South Africa's political and social development, including anti-apartheid struggles. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe as I bring you more information on the African continent, people, and culture.